Like how it got into it. Actually, I would have to credit a lot to social media for it because I don't know if I could actually paint you a path or draw a map of like how it worked. It feels like you just keep trying, and then when something like sparks, you just try to keep that fire going.
Hmm.
I know that's really vague. But the closest specificity I could get to it is that like I remember going into YouTube, and this is not to like subtweet anybody or anybody, if anybody knows listening to this, I'm not like calling you out unless it fits, I guess. But like I remember going into YouTube stuff. And when I say that, like once again, nobody knew who we were. Like we were just throwing stuff on YouTube. Uh we were just thinking like logistically, I think that first year we were actually trying YouTube, we got like 500,000 views on our channel overall, which is kind of funny because I have friends that do that in an hour now, or less.
Yeah.
But as a band, we wouldn't have had 500,000 eyes on us touring every shitty bar in the country for a year, so uh it was like a decent trade-off. And um then like I don't know, we are like I specifically went into songwriting during lockdown, ironically enough,
Hmm.
because I started running China by myself, and then I kind of decided like I'd always wanted to be a songwriter, and everything else was like supposed to be an avenue into it. So I was doing music for a bunch of YouTube channels already, and then pop songs, and then like I figured, if there's a year to screw up my life, 2020 is the one, So
Yeah.
I hit up a friend. I didn't hit. I we were doing one of those weird like distance, outdoor dinners or whatever. It was like me and two other friends, and we sat like 6 feet apart from each other. We're talking, and
Yeah.
um, and one of my buddies, like he kind of worked in the financial space for creative work. So like he would help get like Katy Perry and Lizzo projects funded or whatever. And um, they it wasn't really inside information. It was just kind of stuff that if I had thought about it long enough I would have arrived at. But it made sense. He was like, all the big players left town,
Hmm.
and budgets are slashed to a fraction of what they were. However, I'm still here, and a
Yeah.
fraction of their budget is like an annual salary for me or something, or at least close. And so I was kind of able to like prove myself in these. There was so many moments of like, um, well, I'll preface this. I don't want to discourage anybody from making the most of where they're at if they're not in one of these big hub cities. However, if you have the ability to move to one of the big cities and where your industry is happening, and you're talking yourself out of it because of excuses, because of like someone saying like, well, you could do this anywhere now because of the internet. That's kind of true if you can make it work. But if it's not working, then I think it's a heavy advantage being here because I want to say like 90 to 100% of my work came from like, hey, can you be at Venice Beach in 2 hours,
Yeah.
and just because something fell through, something happened. I'm just so today, I was trying to figure out like when I would be available because I didn't know if I had a meeting, and I had all this recording sessions earlier today. Last Thursday I got hit up for literally the largest project I've ever, like the biggest scope of work I've ever done solo. And
Yeah.
um it all stemmed around from I had worked with this like entity before, this producer before, and they had something else that they were contracted to do, and someone fell through, and they needed someone like that day. And
Yeah.
so they got me on a Zoom call like we are right now. We talked for about half an hour, and then suddenly I now from at the time we're recording this, like I guess like a week ago from the beginning of November through February, I'm 100% booked on my time. Like I don't have hours in the day to work. But that wouldn't have happened if I was back in Indiana or something, at least not this specific opportunity.